Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. We are the Mother Bunker Files, and this is part 2 of episode QAnon Super Bowl Shutdown. All right, in our fishbowl of conspiracies, joining us is Dr. Deep Blue Thought, and this is our next topic: freedom of speech, motherfucker.
Freedom of speech.
Go.
That is a deep topic. Freedom of speech.
So I think it was just 4 years ago we had freedom of speech. We had the algorithm wasn't out yet against Facebook. For me, I've been walking on eggshells for my conspiracies and things, because even if someone with you doesn't necessarily agrees with you, there is that higher power that is tuning in on our cell phones. I've had my front camera turn on and everything. And then there's the EMF of controlling people, and then there's the media narrative that is going against freedom of speech and freedom of thought.
Yes.
And it's ironic that the further this country goes, the more we're against freedom of speech, freedom of thought.
Freedom of thought. That's a very, very good way of putting it, because, when you don't have freedom of speech, you do not have freedom of thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you're restricted in the words that you can use, you are restricted in the thoughts that you can have. That's really dangerous to do such a thing, to force people to only use certain words.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're basically forcing them to only have certain thoughts. I mean, holy smoke, that's scary.
Yeah, everything's fine as long as you agree with me.
Exactly.
Right?
I know.
You and I can have a difference of opinion and we'll be fine, but I think we actually agree on more things. But anyone
and yet,
outside,
even the things that we do not agree with, we're not going to jump up and start to almost be about to pound each other's faces in with our fists. No.
Oh yeah.
We'd be like, okay, tell me more. I just want to gather all the information about everything.
Yeah.
That's just the type of person I am anyway. And then make up my mind. So if it means I spent 50 years reading about stuff, well, okay, so that's what it'll take.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks. I wish all the truth was known to everybody, and I wish the truth was taught in school so that you didn't have to, say, at age 50 suddenly realize, oh, everything I've been told. Okay, almost everything I have been told is either incomplete or actually not the truth, or the real truth, or the most important part has been left out. And I'm talking about to the level of the most fundamental basics of physics. From that point of view, if you're a physicist and you're taught physics or whatever, even some of the most fundamental information is left out.
Mm.
Obviously, there's no theory of everything, since you don't even have everything to start with, to play with.
Oh,
How can you come up with a theory of everything? So that's like a really fundamental sort of
part of society.
blocking of information.
Yeah. Yeah, and you ask for the files on a UFO incident and it's all redacted.
Right.
So freedom of information is important.
Freedom of information, yeah, exactly.
Even if it isn't something that you necessarily agree with,
And there are all sorts of, like you said, they're all redacted and everything. Talking of freedom of information.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't there an act that allows you to use Freedom of Information Act to force the government to release documents unredacted? Isn't that the case?
Yes. So there is. You can vie for or apply for such and such, but if it's still classified, they'll still redact it.
Exactly.
And as far as education goes, I believe now the Trail of Tears is taught differently. So the Trail of Tears was Andrew Jackson went against the Supreme Court's rules that Native Americans could stay in the eastern part of America. So he kicked them all out. But I think it's read now as a mutual agreement that the Indians would leave and go out into the West. So even there, like at the fundamental of education, they are teaching new redacted government bullshit, and that is just absolutely that. If that doesn't show you where we're at, then I bad. Like I can't. I can't go any further than that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we're supposed to have this Freedom of Information Act and be able to get the information that we want. So even when the president, you can't mention the word Trump, talking of, freedom of speech.
Oh my God, if you mention Trump, like, we'll never get out of the dark.
I know. I mean, that's an example right there of freedom of speech not being allowed. If you say the word Trump, or if you say anything like Trump did something good, oh my God, you're going to have people literally like a lion pouncing on a gazelle and grabbing its throat so the gazelle can no longer breathe. That is literally what almost, it feels like that.
Yeah, get ready for an argument. And there have been multiple events where people wearing Make America Great Again hats have been either thrown out of a business, and thank God for these people grabbing their cell phones and being like, these guys won't give me service even though I'm wearing them, just because I'm wearing a Make America Great Again hat, a MAGA
not
hat.
Only that, even much more horrible, much more disgusting than that is like, I remember seeing early videos when those hats first came out, where just because somebody, so this guy voted for Trump, he was wearing one of the hats, he was pulled out of his car and just beaten into a pulp by multiple people. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh God, how horrific is that? Well, okay, I guess he has. Not only did he not have freedom of speech, he didn't have freedom of wearing the freaking clothes you want to wear.
Yeah.
You can't even wear it. I mean, after that episode, after I saw that video, I started getting worried about. I have a red cap, okay? It's a Puma hat, like company Puma, with a jumping Puma at the front, But I started getting worried like that. Well, if somebody sees me from behind and they don't see any words, they might just assume it's a Make America Great Again hat and just come from behind and pound me in the back of my head or something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy that, wow, you're not even allowed to have different political views. You can't speak about the word. You can't even say the word Trump. And in fact, I'm going to just give you an example of something that has happened to me. I was specifically told, if you want anything to do with me, this was literally just days ago, then don't ever don't talk to me about anything positive that Trump has done. Don't speak anything like, he's done this and he's done that, which was a good thing. Wow. Holy crap. So if I want anything to do with this person who is potentially maybe a business, business partner or partnership or something, or even just like a friend who you just want to hang with and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But boy, talk about inflammatory words, and boy, did that inflame my thoughts.
Yeah, and it's
wow.
Scary to think about because
I don't even care whether Trump is good. I mean, what I'm saying is this.
Oh, we hope.
It's not the fact. It's not even down to is he good? Is he bad? Is he controlled? Has he done lots of terrible things? Is that all made up? Right now, for me, it's not even about that. It's about, Why can't I kind of have my own thoughts? Is that not allowed? Apparently not.
Oh, no.
Apparently people don't want that. If you want those thoughts, then you go away. Don't come near me and don't talk about those thoughts within earshot of me, because it's going to piss me off. That's what I was told.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is amazing that you
now,
can't
how do you
have
respond to that? And I'm not
debate.
even. I live in America. I'm a green card holder. I'm an alien, but I'm a perfectly legal alien.
Yeah.
And so I cannot vote in this country, and I do not vote. However, obviously I'm going to look around and see what's happening and try and figure out, what is happening and why is everybody going so crazy and why are they all fighting each other and is this person good and is this person bad? What is this politician really doing? So I'm a curious person, so I'm going to be curious and try and find out.
Oh my God! Stop right there! Stop looking for the truth, Dr. Deep Blue Thought.
How dare you say the word truth? That can never be mentioned around here.
Oh my God, get out of here. Get out of here. Trump has done nothing good. Minus, buy the dip, having a secure border. Oh my God. Secure borders. It is a headache. It is a headache.
You don't need secure borders. No other country
and he's working with them, right? So he extends DACA for 3 years, and he gives it to the House or the Senate, and they're like, no, we're not voting on this. Like, what? Okay, obviously you guys aren't suffering from not having a paycheck or don't have to worry about having a paycheck because
they're not suffering. They're going to get all their money. They're going to have a vacation, a paid vacation. They will get all the money.
Oh,
exactly.
Shit. By the way, wasn't today supposed to be the State of the Union? What's today, the 29th? Yeah. Did that happen? I don't think that happened. I think they got pushed back, which hasn't been pushed back since, like, the 1930s.
No. Yeah. Oh, well, I thought it was the first time ever, but okay, so it has been pushed back.
Yeah.
But that was because of good old the Chuck and Nancy show, I like to call it.
Yeah, I can't believe the inflammatory BS that's coming out of them. Like, after Trump gives his speech about why having a secure border is good, and believe me, like, I don't want it, like, I believe people should have freedoms here, but I think there's a bigger thing that, we should be vying for. But, like, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer come out and they're like, everything's fine, don't worry about it, like, there's no reason for us to have secure borders. Like, I'm not buying it. I will not buy that.
These are the same people. You can watch their own speeches talking about why there is a need for a secure border.
In 2006, yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can watch the speeches of Obama, of Pelosi, of Schumer, specifically speaking about the need for a border. So basically, they don't care about anything other than making the president look bad. And hey, since this is a conspiracy theory show, let's just get really deep into conspiracy theories. They want MS-13 coming across. They want undocumented children coming across in their thousands. You know how many undocumented, without their parents, kids came across in last month? In just 1 month, 20,000. Where do those kids go? How are we supposed to house them? How are you going to feed them? How are you going to, you're going to raise them forever, those 20,000? Oh, don't worry. Somebody will take good care of them.
Oh, yeah.
C-A-E-R. Maybe there's an S in front of there. Good scare of them. A good scare always produces a good amount of adrenochrome. Adreno being a chip that Google at one point invented or something, and Chrome being a web browser that Google invented. That's all I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Adreno the chip, and Chrome the web browser. That's all I'm talking about. What are you thinking?
Oh.
conspiracy thoughts.
Get out of here. Get out of here with your crazy conspiracies. Oh, God, yeah. What a what a fucking coincidence that it's the chip's called Adreno and the web browser is called Chrome and it's by Google. Google, who won't acknowledge who Jesus is. Alexa, who won't acknowledge who Jesus is. And when I listened to
really? Wow.
yeah, I listened to Obama's 2000 would have been his second inaugural address. I couldn't. 2012, I think it was. I think it was 2012. His inaugural address, and I had just learned that the Antichrist. Not saying Obama was the Antichrist. I think the Antichrist is yet to come, or the Antichrist is among us, or the Antichrist won't take control because he knows he's fighting a losing battle. But the Antichrist vies for open borders and peace. And that was exactly what Obama was saying. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, this is crazy. Like, there's nothing good that's coming from this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Let's backtrack. What made you think of the Antichrist when you were watching that speech?
From the open borders and the peace. That's part of it. And a lot of people were saying at the time, whether or not I believe them is up to me. But the Antichrist comes in and vies for open borders, world peace, a new world order.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. He was like, we need to have open borders. And
wow.
Yeah. So like drugs and guns come over, and there was also the Fast and the Furious, which our government had. Not to mention Arkansas having cocaine run through them while Bill Clinton was president or governor. Sorry. And don't tell me having open borders is safe, because if you go into fucking Canada, you are not gonna get there. They're not gonna welcome you as a new Canada citizen. It's not gonna happen.
I thought I was gonna go and vote in the next Canadian election.
Oh no, you can't even work there.
Because I wanted to get rid of Trudeau.
Yeah, no, you can't even work there as immigrant. Yeah, they have to prove that no one else can fill your position, and that's how you get a job. And granted, we're a country of needing roads done and picking fruit, so we need people to do that, and no one's more willing than a poor immigrant. But at the same time, everyone wants to go up in arms about having children vaccinated when their children, these immigrants, haven't been vaccinated. These immigrants, and oh my God, they're so surprised that these children are dying in hospitals when you need, what is it? I think it's a gallon of water a day in hot environments.
Right.
Surprise. It didn't work out.
I don't know, from Honduras or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's another caravan.
Why do they have to travel to California when it's like twice the distance of traveling? I just don't understand. It doesn't. I guess I do not understand the geography down there, because the geography obviously forces you to march from South America to the California side only. You could not possibly go the other way, which would be half the distance of the crow flies, because obviously there must be like gigantic, I don't know, mountains or something in the way. I don't know. See, I don't know the geography, so I was just curiously wondering why they all have to just march all the way to the west side so that they can end up in California.
It's about a 30-day trek, right? And the CNN would have us believe that they're doing this without shoes, which is, oh my God, impossible, right? Like, there are photos of like these poor children, but like half the people there are news sources, like
Mm-hmm.
pushing this fake agenda,
Taking
this
the
fake
pictures,
narrative.
taking the video, taking the, yep.
Not helping,
It's,
not offering any help whatsoever. God forbid they do that, right?
it's almost like you're saying fake news or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually what I drew here. Fake news. If you have any
Right.
topics about fake news,
God.
I mean,
Well, if you want some more fake news, here's some fake news. Rumor has it that Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's love child. Oh my gosh.
oh no!
This rumor became so big that the actual Canadian government actually had to issue a denial.
Oh my God!
I mean, just because Trudeau and just because Pierre Trudeau is dad, well, supposedly his dad, and Fidel Castro were buddies, and just because his mother spent a lot of time with Fidel Castro, and just because she went back to visit Fidel when she did have the baby, in other words, Trudeau, Justin, it doesn't mean that. And just because he looked exactly identical to Fidel Castro, when you sketch on the little mustache and the thing, doesn't
And a cigar.
Doesn't mean the thing. Doesn't mean the thing. Yeah, and you put the sketch in the cigar. Yeah, that doesn't mean a thing. It's just pure coincidence. But I mean, God, these conspiracy theory nut jobs, they gotta calm down with this crap.
Oh yeah. How dare you have a separate opinion? How dare you be a thinker? You know.
I got sidetracked in silly thinking.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't like fact check ourselves. It's not like we don't want this to be true. Like I want to look for the narrative that is like this is why this doesn't exist. But it's not out there. And the more and more like I used to watch CNN like when I was 18. I used to be CNN only, but then the 2016 election, I was seeing this fucking fake media agenda from CNN to MSNBC. So I switched to Fox News, and granted, they're not all that better, but they do ask questions, and a lot of people don't want to ask questions. They don't want to think that their media, would be lying to them, because why would a government want their media to not be lying to them, right?
Well, exactly.
Right? They want to put this fake agenda, even with CNBC. CNBC saying the stock market's fine, there's nothing to worry about, and all of a sudden it all shoots up. You wanted to talk about silver. And you remember when silver was $14.50, and now it's pushing the $16 range. God, I miss $14, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's still massively underpriced compared to
undervalued. Oh my God!
It's just a joke how cheap it is right now. I mean, it's just insane. Actually, it's cheaper than it is to physically pull it out of the ground per ounce.
And how is that good capitalism if it's cheaper to pull it out of the ground, or it's more expensive to pull it out of the ground where, the value is cheaper, right?
Obviously, it's not a free market, as we've been led to believe. Because if it was, supply and demand. If it was really about
50 million contracts on the stock market for silver just dumped onto that market with no value to it whatsoever. And I've been saying it on this channel for the past couple of episodes of it being on sale. It is even at $16. It is still on sale. Absolutely. It's like worth, 3 million boulevards in Venezuela that doesn't have an actual economy at this moment?
I know.
What were they saying? When it was like 30 boulevards? or bulliards, whatever. Correct me in the comments.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the current price in Venezuelan money is.
It's around the 3 million mark.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It'll buy you 6 months of groceries, right?
Wow, for
And
1 ounce?
yeah, and an ounce of gold will buy you a house. But like that's just the tip of the iceberg for what silver can do.
Exactly.
Like as far as colloidal silver, which can
There's that too.
cure cancer.
That's the health. There's the health aspect of silver. Now I haven't looked into,
I'm sorry. There was one guinea pig. They had a rabbit that had like 31 tumors, right? And they put this medical grade, which is the purest silver that you can. It's medical grade silver. It's like 6 nines, 6 or 8 nines pure. So 9,999,99999% pure. Colloidal silver, and they inject it into the tumors. And within 30 days, the tumors had dried up, essentially, whatever that is. Yeah. And but oh my God, Harvard hasn't done a study on it. Can't imagine why they wouldn't have done a study on it. Maybe because they're pushing this medical agenda of, having prescription pills pushed out there.
Oh yeah. So that is another huge, massive, deep subject. That one, once you start going into medicine, whoa, we're getting real deep. And you have to go back into the destruction of all of the alternative schools of medicine that existed simultaneously in the early days of medical schools in America, and then how they were all destroyed, how Ayurvedic, how all these other alternative therapies, which actually have shown efficacy, and they actually have shown, according to studies, that it's better than a placebo, which means it's actually working, above just chance and whatever the human influence is. So it is working. But, they destroyed all these other fields of endeavor so that simply you could have the medicine that we have now, basically, where everything is based upon drugs as the solution.
And profit.
Yeah, sorry, say that again?
Profit, like...
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's
absolutely, it's based upon profit.
Of course. I mean, I don't know any other business, for example. I mean, I'll give you an example. If you took your car to a mechanic, right, and it was a beautiful car, you loved that car, it was really expensive, you saved up for 10 years, I don't know, you worked so hard your whole life to save up, and you're like, finally, I got that car, awesome! And then, say, it's a brand new, beautiful, I don't know, sports car, whatever. You take it to the mechanic and you say, oh, could you just, fix this tiny little, it's got a flat tire and I don't have time. Could you just fill up that tire, please? And then the mechanic fills the tire up, but accidentally, along the way, he blows up your whole car. So there's nothing left of it, and it's lying on the floor in a melted heap. I don't know how he would have done this, but
yeah.
I mean, just pretend like lasers shot out of the sky and just melted the car to
I'm
nothing.
following you.
Not such a thing could ever happen in real life, but just pretend it did.
Yeah.
And then your Ferrari's left. Right. I don't know any mechanic who would do such a thing and actually get away with it and not have to pay you for a new car. But if you're an MD, you can do that.
Yeah.
You kill the patient. Sorry, it was an accident. You can do so many side effects and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, here's the insurance, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, here's the bill.
I don't know any other field of endeavor like that. Only the, medicine and the pharmaceuticals, big medicine, basically.
Medicine and the collegiate department.
Mm-hmm.
where
And
they
then we
can
have
here's you're 18 and you can pick whatever you want. You can be anything, and here's this degree. Here, yeah, choose this degree. Sorry you didn't get a job, but still pay us bukus of money.
of course.
But I digress there. Yeah, so like.
But don't worry, you're in gigantic debt now, and so we'll be talking to you lovingly for your whole life.
You'll never be able to pay this back, but please pay us what you
And
can along
maybe
the
we'll
way.
be talking lovingly to your children too after you die.
Yeah.
So they can help us out, a little bit.
Oh my God.
It's gonna go that way, yeah.
I know you pursued a PhD. This is Dr. Deep Blue Thought. He actually does have a PhD. It's not just doctor, like Dr. Dre. It is a doctor.
What? I thought Dr. Dre was a real MD. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed.
No, not quite. Fell a few years short. Like, what is it, all 12 years short?
I was waiting till I had hemorrhoids just so I could say, yeah, I went to Dr. Dre for my hemorrhoids. I don't know why I thought of that.
Yeah, no, my girlfriend, goes to a doctor, passes out, wakes up, has a device in her that's been known to cause blood clotting. They remove it in another state. Lo and behold, the blood clot has actually, clotted over, so she doesn't have circulation in her leg. But
oh God.
yeah, please, luckily she had just applied for welfare before she went to the hospital. Not saying that socialism is all wrong, but free healthcare would be nice if they could actually. I don't think our country will ever figure out how to do free healthcare, but we're almost on the way.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty.
And now she has to go through surgeries that she has to pay for to get circulation back in her leg.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely. I was in another state at the time, so I didn't have time to tell them to go fuck themselves. And she's fine, and you were overzealous. Jesus. Yeah, that's that's the burden of not being an Illuminati sellout, is that you go and try and do something for yourself, and lo and behold someone else suffers, or you yourself suffers. Not the government has the EMF devices and everything.
I know. They do.
Absolutely.
Not just our government. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not just our government. Probably most major governments, sadly, have that. And
Russia, China, for sure.
Yeah. And maybe they have been, so basically, we could be having secret wars with other countries using weapons that are not obvious and not loud and don't blow things up, and, so that you don't even know that there's actually a war going on between different countries. And I mean, since the 60s, so this is a known thing, talking of EMF devices. Since the 60s, there has been something called the woodpecker signal being broadcast into America from Russia. That is a known thing. Now I'm sure it's been stopped, but since the 60s, for decades, that signal was an electromagnetic frequency, right? Specifically designed to only have negative effects on the American population. So when I say negative effects, I mean in terms of, and this is the 60s, so imagine how much more sophisticated they became since then, and more finely tuned. But at that time, it was just basically, they called it the woodpecker signal because the equipment that was used to to initially detect it made it sound like a woodpecker pecking on a tree. So, like that, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they call it the woodpecker signal. You can look it up. And it's a Russian weapon used against the American population. So that makes you think, like, okay, so there are outside forces making individuals, well, it's probably global. It must be global. It's global by now, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Making individuals more or less depressed than they would be, but it's nothing to do with them, and it's nothing to do with their life, and it's nothing to do with what they have done or what somebody else has done to them, etc. It's actually an outside force making things worse on purpose. How sick is that? Okay, that's just one thing. Then there's other things added on top of that, which I'm not even going to start because we'll go way over time. But so think about it from this point of view. Maybe you're in a relationship, or maybe you used to be in a relationship, or whatever. There is an outside force making you and the person that you're in a relationship with actually do worse. And it's nothing to do with how the two of you interact. It's nothing to do with your life. It's nothing to do with your thoughts. It's just an outside force that is designed specifically to mess up your everything, your mood, your mind, your state of being, your state of well-being. It's to make you unwell. Now, I don't know specifically what it does because I haven't looked really deeply into it, but I definitely could. And I definitely want to because it's along the lines of research that I've done in the past. And so, I just want to go deep into that topic myself for my own reasons. But yeah, it's going on, and it's a very strong influence. So it's sick to think that they outside forces can make you or a couple or a whole family or a whole village or a whole town or one group of people compared to another group of people. It can make them love each other or hate each other to the point where they kill each other. And this has been done by America on groups of, well, one example was in Africa, where certain EMF frequencies were beamed down on two opposing groups of, it's like just a crazy rat experiment. It's like the whole world is just a gardish, whatever you call it, doing experiments for these crazy people. But basically, yeah, they can influence groups of people to fight each other and or even kill each other. And that influence comes from the outside. It has been done.
Yeah.
So this is not a unknown thing. In fact, you can bring up hundreds of patterns on how to. Well, maybe not hundreds, but you can bring up dozens and dozens and dozens of patterns.
There are enough. Mm-hmm. There are absolutely enough. There's one special forces group. This is actually declassified. One of my ex-girlfriend's father was involved in this, but he came home and she asked him if he killed anybody, and he's like, no, they killed themselves. There's this terrorist group.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes, they can make you kill yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least have those thoughts to the point where you want to.
There's this terrorist group in Africa. They were students at this time, but they were still terrorists. They were bad people, right? They put this powder on their pencils, and it made them more aggressive, and they ended up killing themselves, like stabbing themselves with the pencil, like because they got so irritated that they like just stabbed it into their neck.
Wow. All of them?
Yeah, well, it was two. It was two of them that they got rid of by doing that.
Okay. So now, when you think about this technology, which exists, and there's patents that exist for it, they are published, you can look them up. So when you think about this, and you think about world events, and you think about rioting, and you think about, okay, let's look at a recent example of the stuff going on in Paris, for example.
Yeah.
The riot in Paris. And if you watch some of these video clips on YouTube and stuff, you'll see some really terrible, horrific behavior by cops and things, and by the rioters, but mainly actually not by the rioters, but by the other people, the cops and the ones who are trying to force everybody to behave and force everybody to just listen to the government and force everybody to just do what they're told and force everybody to just live more poorly and force everybody to pay higher taxes and force everybody to, basically give up all freedom. As if they even have much in France left anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But if you do not listen to that, then, hey, these people are going to come and just force you to listen to Macron, whatever his name is, the supposed leader of that country, even though he's not a leader of anything. But he's not even a leader of his household. His pedophile wife is 25 years older, who, slept with him when he was like, 11, 12, 13, whatever it was. But anyway, they're all pedophiles, including him. But, whoops, there's another conspiracy theory we'll have to get into later on. But then, so imagine these riots and things. And now imagine, and doesn't even have to be in your imagination when you know all this stuff is going on. If there is some outside force that would like more violence to happen, that would like some deaths to happen.
Need more deaths to happen.
Exactly.
Like heroin to these people, they need that. Yep. Especially to the higher powers.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw out there, like, if it isn't on YouTube, it ain't real. Like, if you're just getting this from BBC, the major BuzzFeed, it ain't real. Like, you gotta, like, I've seen journalists on YouTube actually go to the Paris riots, and you see CNN, like, up on the rooftops. He's actually there with the rioters, like, just marching with them. There's no actual investigative journalism going around in these mainstream narrative news. It's absolutely dead. It is read it off the prompter.
It's all propaganda now. It's just 100% propaganda.
Absolutely.
And probably has been for decades. We just didn't realize it. Nobody realized it until now. Because, they're just using the propaganda, obviously. The Nazis were the kings of
propaganda.
And the Nazis
Twisting
did not
it.
lose World War II. They just moved over here, rewrote the history books to make it look like they lose. That's their amazing trick they do every time. The pharaohs didn't lose. Rome didn't fall. No, every single time we've been convinced that Rome fell and the Caesars were destroyed and blah 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 and all this kind of stuff. No, they still run the show.
Yeah.
All roads lead back to Rome.
They weren't destroyed. The bankers survived.
The bankers are the descendants of the kings and queens and the emperors.
And they're running the show now.
That's who they are.
Oh my god, how fucking crazy is that? Like, you can't even say these people. They don't have a name in Italy. Like, we are talking about the richest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't see anybody else, like, I wouldn't see this coming from anywhere else except Italy, being the bankers being extraordinary. The black bankers being extraordinarily rich off of the poor.
The black nobility, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
the shadow.
When you look into the, basically they are all the descendants of the. So if you want to go deeper, they're all descendants of the old nobility. So the old French Revolution, where the peasants, supposedly guillotined all of the kings and queens and got rid of them all. Well, they did do it to some of them, but not all of them. The rest went into silence. And look at all the countries of Europe and the rest of the world. There's a hell of a lot less kings and queens in the world, but those people and those families did not go anywhere. They continued in positions of power, and all they do is they have one amazing trick, which is they rewrite history, but they make it look as if they lost. So the Nazis did not lose. They moved to America.
Absolutely, South America and America. All right, so this is a wrap up of part 2. We're coming right back with part 3 here
Good.
in a couple of minutes. It will be like non-existent to you guys, but stay tuned. Part 3 coming up. Peace.